inspired me to try streaming. Any tips you can share? Maybe someday you can be my senpai. First of all, I would love that. This is going to be tips specifically for people who want to start streaming in general. It is extremely difficult to make a living and to be in a position where you're streaming to make money and live off of it. However, I honestly genuinely think that if you want to try, you should freaking try it. I didn't expect to get into HOLOSTARS. If you do genuinely want to do content creation, whether that's streaming or making YouTube videos or whatever, you gotta take a risk. And if you're working a full-time job right now, if you're working a job that's able to let you take a year off of working, then I would give that a try. I would save up a year's worth of money, maybe move back in with your parents, whatever it is, and spend 1 year dedicating yourself to streaming and to making content. You can also do it while you're working. You can also do it while you're in school. But know that when you're working, when you're in school, that's going to be extremely difficult to do. It's going to wear on you. It's going to be something that you have to do every single day. No matter if you're tired, if you're burdened with schoolwork, it doesn't matter what it is. Content creation is not going to just sit there and wait for you. It's brutal. But if you do choose to become a content creator, if you do choose to start streaming and making YouTube videos, then really, first of all, make it consistent. If you want to start streaming, stream at the same time on the same day every single week. If you choose to do 4 days a week, make sure to do it 4 days a week, the same day, the same time. Because think of it like this. You're providing entertainment, right? You're providing streams. You're providing places where people can hang out, right? And people normally want that on a regular schedule. If, let's say, Rick and Morty is being played every Thursday at 10 p.m., then you know when it is. You know when to tune in. When you're streaming, if you have a certain time and your viewers recognize that time, then that's good. It'll really help you build the base of your core fan base. Do something that people have not done. There's a lot of people that, and I'm guilty of this too, that just do the same thing that other people do. Whether that's just playing video games or hosting a show that's very similar to other shows that are out there in the public. The easiest way to grow is to have something that's new, something that people haven't done before. You gotta find a niche, and then maybe you can experiment once you get a little bit further. Some people take a risk by streaming and making content on YouTube. Some people take risks by moving across the country, going into a completely new atmosphere, and seeing what they can do in that new atmosphere. And if you're too afraid to take risks, then I'm sorry to say that you're probably not gonna make it. If you really want to do something, take a year off. Dedicate some time onto building your craft, learning algorithm, learning how to make thumbnails, learning how to do anything, really. Either do it for fun, which is completely fair, or try to make it into a living. You got this. I believe that you can do it. It's gonna take a lot of hard work. I know this might be a given, guys. Just be a good person. Don't take advantage of other people. Even if there are things that you can do to get you more subscribers or more viewers. If it's not along your moral compass, then don't do it, okay? There's a lot of people that get caught up on the whole clout thing. Treat people, no matter what size they are, no matter who they are, treat them nicely, because you'll never know when I might kick you in the butt, right? If you're a content creator, if you're a public figure, you can't really be going out there treating people badly and then not expecting to get your retribution for that. I've seen many canceled VTubers and streamers, especially people that lie about things, that treat others that have less numbers than them as lesser. Freaking hate that. Definitely have someone there that can help you be like, hey, you're steering off the wrong path. I just don't want to be alone in my streams. There's so many 1 to 0 viewer streams out there. Are you gonna quit them? Are you gonna quit because you have 1 to 0 viewers? Or maybe is it time for you to perhaps look back and see what your content is? Maybe see, how can I get more viewers? How can I make my streams more interesting? And one thing that a lot of people don't know how to do is fill empty space. There's a lot of streams that I tune in with 1, 0, even 10 viewers, where it's just dead space. You need to make sure that you're constantly talking, whether that's commenting on something that happens in the game that you're playing, whether that's taking one subject that you've been talking about and segueing it into another subject. That's a skill that you're gonna have to get used to and maybe gain and practice. If you're struggling with having those 0 to 1 viewership streams, maybe try asking a couple of your friends or even family members to just lurk and just, be there. They can comment when they want to. They can comment when they don't want to. I know a lot of streamers that had to, ask around, be like, hey, I'm starting streaming. Can you lurk in my streams? Can you keep my streams up? And that way it can help me be found more. Now, obviously, don't be like, hey, you have to watch every single one of them. Just be like, hey, I'm doing this. If you find the spare time, feel free to lurk. Obviously, you have to be careful. because, you know, family members might dox you in certain ways. And at the same time, ways to grow your community, ways to grow yourself as a streamer too, is by immersing yourself in other people's streams, in other people's YouTube stuff and communities. Whether that's going to other people's streams and watching those streams, you know, becoming a regular in those, and that way, when you stream, maybe people notice. Of course, don't do networking in a way where it's like, oh, I'm only watching your streams, hey, watch my streams. No, don't do that. Don't force it in their face. Just have fun, okay? People will know when you're not having fun. Don't worry too much about numbers. And if you have cool ideas, then people will come watch. Here's one way you can just get started with practicing streaming. Whenever you do things by yourself, whether you're drawing art, whether you're playing League of Legends, whether you're doing anything, even if you're not streaming at all, just try talking to yourself. What about starting as a VTuber? Ooh, this is something that I see a lot in the indie VTuber scene. So you want to get started as a VTuber. Number one, start streaming without being a VTuber. I see so many people, so many indie VTubers that spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a VTuber model, when first of all, they don't even know if they like streaming. They don't know if they are good at streaming. They don't know if they even want to be streaming. I see a lot of people spend so much money and then quit after like a month or two because it's not for them. Make sure that you start streaming either as a face cam, you don't need to be face cam, or as a no cam streamer. I know many people that have started as a no cam streamer, transitioned into a VTuber, and still was able to make it work. Like they got partnered before they even became a VTuber. It's not impossible. You can do it. So please don't spend thousands of dollars before you even know if you want to start streaming. Please don't spend thousands of dollars before you even know if you like streaming. You can also PNG tube. If you don't want to have a full VTuber asset, just get a picture. Either draw it yourself or pay someone to draw it for you. One thing you should not do though, do not make friends with artists just so they can make you art. Do not do that. That's horrible. I've seen that happen a lot. Don't do that. That's very disrespectful. I guess in general too, you don't need to have all those like, oh, transitions. Oh, you don't need those, you know, overlays for gaming. You don't need those kind of stuff. But as long as you have good audio quality, as long as people can listen to your stream without wanting to close it, then you've already kept a lot of people. So make sure your audio settings are all balanced. Make sure you have a good microphone. Make sure you just have good quality. And that good quality microphone costs less than $100. Sure, my setup might be a little bit expensive, right? I have a Go XLR that costs $600. I have a microphone that costs like $300. I have an ASMR microphone that costs $650. Sure, I might have that, but you don't need to start with that. What would you say are good PC hardware and network requirements for streaming? Streaming is extremely taxing on your computer. Right now, I am rocking an i7-8700K with an RTX 3080 with 32 gigabytes of RAM. And I'm currently streaming at 54 FPS. If you want to play more intensive games, either buy a capture card for a console that you have, whether that's an Xbox One or PlayStation 5 or whatever you have. Buy a capture card, that way you can render those games not on your computer. Try doing that if you don't have the best computer. You can have a PS4, you can have a PS3, and you can buy a $100 capture card and make it work. If you do really want to get into computer stuff for streaming, a dual PC setup is the best. It is quite the financial, I guess, strain. You don't need to have one. I'm not using one right now, but I would like one, and that's going to be good for streaming.